Comfort is deceptively dangerous when it comes to financial growth because it creates the illusion of safety while quietly destroying ambition, drive, and long-term potential. Most people think that comfort equates to stability, security, or wisdom, but the truth is far harsher. Comfort is the enemy of progress. When you feel comfortable, you stop challenging yourself. You stop taking the calculated risks necessary to expand your income, increase your assets, and leverage opportunities that others are too scared to pursue. Comfort lulls the mind into complacency, and complacency is fatal in wealth creation. It's not failure that kills most financial ambitions. It's the slow, unnoticed erosion that happens when people settle for what feels easy, safe, and predictable. Comfort shows up in everyday decisions, often disguised as rational choices. It's the safe job that pays just enough to live, the predictable routine that avoids uncertainty, and the avoidance of opportunities that feel risky or challenging. People convince themselves that these choices are smart because they reduce stress or create short-term stability. The problem is that financial growth rarely rewards short-term comfort. Wealth is built on bold action, calculated risk-taking, and relentless execution. Every moment spent in comfort is a moment not spent pursuing growth, building networks, investing aggressively, or learning skills that compound over time. Over months and years, these small choices compound into a gap that can never be closed. The mind thrives on routine, and routine creates comfort. Once you settle into a predictable pattern of life, your brain stops seeking growth. It defaults to maintaining the status quo. You stop exploring new opportunities, negotiating harder deals, or experimenting with investment strategies. You become reactionary instead of proactive. In finance, a proactive person captures opportunities early, takes advantage of inefficiencies, and acts decisively while others hesitate. The comfortable person waits, hoping conditions will improve or that someone else will take the risk first. This is why comfort is so deadly. It masks its threat with the illusion of stability, even as it quietly ensures that financial potential remains capped. Comfort also weakens the ability to handle pressure. Real financial growth involves stress, challenge, and uncertainty. Investments can fail, deals can fall through, and markets can turn against you. People who are accustomed to comfort are unprepared to endure these pressures. Their decision-making falters under stress, their confidence wavers, and they retreat into hesitation and avoidance. In contrast, those who train themselves to embrace discomfort learn to operate effectively under pressure. They develop resilience, sharpen their judgment, and gain a competitive edge that allows them to seize opportunities others shy away from. Comfort, by contrast, conditions the mind to flinch, delay, and defer, leaving wealth building to the brave. Another danger of comfort is its relationship with risk perception. People in comfort begin to overvalue safety and undervalue opportunity. They equate the absence of immediate stress with long-term security, ignoring that financial growth is a process of stretching beyond current capabilities. They hesitate to negotiate better terms, invest aggressively, or pivot strategies because the short-term discomfort feels worse than the potential long-term reward. Meanwhile, those willing to step outside comfort zones capitalize on these exact opportunities. Markets, deals, and business openings are rarely convenient. They are messy, uncertain, and uncomfortable. Comfort ensures that these chances pass by unnoticed. Comfort also breeds procrastination. People who settle into comfortable routines delay decisions, defer action, and rationalize inaction with excuses about timing, preparation, or readiness. The danger is that financial opportunities are often fleeting. Assets appreciate when action is taken early. Deals are made when decisiveness is applied, and markets shift before you are ready to react. Waiting for perfect conditions or less risk is a luxury that the comfortable often indulge in, only to find themselves too late to capture meaningful growth. In wealth creation, speed is leverage and comfort slows everything. Financial habits are directly affected by comfort. Comfortable people often prioritize spending over investment, indulgence over discipline, and short-term pleasure over long-term gain. They justify expenses, delay savings, and avoid complex investment strategies because they feel safer sticking to what is familiar. Meanwhile, Wealth accumulates for those who embrace calculated discomfort, delay gratification, and focus relentlessly on compounding returns. The comfortable mindset treats money as something to manage passively, while the growth-oriented mindset treats money as a tool to create leverage, generate opportunities, and multiply wealth. Comfort also erodes ambition over time. The human mind adjusts to what it experiences regularly. If your environment is easy, predictable, and low risk, your goals shrink to match it. People who remain in comfort rarely dream big because their imagination is anchored to what feels safe. Bold financial growth requires ambitious goals, high standards, and relentless pursuit, qualities that comfort undermines at every turn. The more comfortable you are, the less you stretch yourself, and the smaller your financial results become. The remedy to comfort is deliberate discomfort. Every action that challenges your routine, tests your skills, or pushes you toward risk is an investment in financial growth. Negotiating aggressively, taking on calculated investments, scaling businesses under pressure, and pursuing opportunities outside of familiarity may feel uncomfortable, but these are exactly the actions that multiply wealth. Financial growth favors those who can endure discomfort, make decisive moves despite fear, and maintain focus on long-term results while ignoring the immediate ease of staying comfortable. Ultimately, comfort kills financial growth because it limits action, dulls ambition, delays opportunity, and encourages avoidance. It seduces the mind with the promise of stability while quietly ensuring mediocrity. Real wealth is created by those who reject ease, embrace challenge, and take bold action consistently. The moment you choose comfort over action, you are choosing stagnation over growth. Wealth does not reward the comfortable, it rewards the bold, the disciplined, and the relentless. Comfort is not safety, it is the silent executioner of financial potential. Safety illusions destroy ambition because most people confuse comfort with security. They assume that stability equals protection, that predictable routines mean they are safe from failure, and that avoiding risk keeps them financially secure. The truth is far harsher. Comfort provides no guarantees, and it actively prevents growth. In business and wealth building, security is an illusion. The world does not pause for those who play it safe. Markets shift, competitors innovate, opportunities vanish, and economic conditions change constantly. Those who cling to perceived safety often find that by the time reality hits, they are too far behind to catch up. Illusions of safety create a false sense of control, making people underestimate the risks of inaction and overestimate the risks of decisive action. This illusion often manifests in career choices. Many people stay in jobs they dislike because the paycheck feels safe, believing that a steady income protects them from financial instability. They avoid entrepreneurship, investments, or new ventures because of fear, convinced that staying in familiar routines shields them from failure, yet these decisions trap them. A secure paycheck today does not create wealth tomorrow. Inflation, rising costs, and missed opportunities erode the value of passive income. The comfort of regular pay lulls people into inaction, preventing them from pursuing strategies that could dramatically increase their financial trajectory. Meanwhile, those who take calculated risks, embrace challenges, and pursue opportunities outside their comfort zones capture the advantages that the safe never will. Illusions of safety also arise in investing. Many avoid stocks, real estate, or business ventures because of perceived volatility. They think staying in low-yield, predictable accounts or avoiding exposure to risk protects their wealth. But the reality is that financial markets reward risk takers who understand and manage exposure wisely. Over time, those who avoid risk entirely often fall behind due to inflation and missed compounding opportunities. Safety, in this context, feels comfortable but slowly erodes financial power. True growth requires exposure, strategy, and courage. Believing that avoiding risk equals protection is one of the most dangerous misconceptions for anyone trying to build wealth. Psychologically, safety illusions breed fear and indecision. People overanalyze, seek excessive reassurance, and defer decisions indefinitely. They wait for perfect timing, the perfect deal, or the perfect set of circumstances, assuming that inaction protects them. This mindset creates a false sense of control, but in reality, every delayed action is a lost opportunity. Markets do not wait, businesses do not pause, and opportunities vanish for those who hesitate. Speed, decisiveness, and adaptability outperform caution disguised as safety every time. Leaders who understand this act quickly, accepting controlled risk as part of survival and growth while the safe remains stuck in paralysis. Comfort also distorts priorities. People cling to what is familiar, even when it is no longer optimal. They tolerate inefficiencies, avoid hard conversations, and maintain underperforming routines because these feel secure. They fail to challenge their assumptions about what drives results, assuming that continuity equates to protection. In reality, weak systems, outdated strategies, and complacent behaviors accumulate silently, creating hidden vulnerabilities. When the market shifts or conditions tighten, these vulnerabilities are exposed, often too late for correction. Safety illusions prevent timely adaptation, making survival more difficult than it would have been had decisive action been taken earlier. Another critical element is the effect on mindset and ambition. Believing in safety creates a narrow focus on minimizing discomfort rather than maximizing opportunity. People limit their goals to what feels achievable within their safe zone rather than pursuing objectives that stretch their skills and resources. Financial growth requires ambitious goals and bold moves which are inherently uncomfortable. Those trapped by illusions of safety settle for mediocrity, while those willing to step outside their comfort zone push boundaries, leverage opportunities, and build lasting wealth. Illusions of security effectively shrink ambition by creating a false perception that one is already protected. Social pressures reinforce these illusions. Society often equates risk aversion with wisdom, stability with responsibility, and comfort with success. People are praised for saving, for avoiding mistakes, and for maintaining a steady lifestyle. While these behaviors appear safe externally, they suppress the mindset needed for financial growth. True wealth is built by challenging norms, taking calculated risks, and enduring discomfort. The approval of others or the comfort of fitting into expectations is a weak substitute for financial independence. Following the path of apparent safety may feel secure, but it ensures slow progress at best and stagnation at worst. Illusions of safety are also revealed during crisis. When markets turn, businesses fail, or unexpected events occur, those who relied on perceived stability are exposed. They have not developed resilience, adaptability, or the ability to act decisively. Their systems, routines, and financial plans were designed for calm conditions, not for pressure or disruption. The very sense of security they depended on becomes meaningless in adversity. Conversely, those who accept risk, embrace challenge, and act decisively are prepared to capitalize on opportunities and navigate turbulence effectively. Safety illusions delay this preparedness, creating vulnerability when circumstances demand strength. Breaking free from safety illusions requires embracing calculated discomfort. Leaders and investors who succeed are those who understand that risk is inherent, opportunity requires action, and comfort is the enemy of progress. They train themselves to act decisively under pressure, to tolerate uncertainty, and to leverage moments of discomfort to multiply financial gains. They know that temporary risk is preferable to long-term stagnation, and that perceived safety often masks hidden threats. Believing you are safe can kill ambition faster than failure ever could. In finance and business, reality rewards courage, speed, and decisive action, not comfort or hesitation. In conclusion, illusions of safety destroy ambition because they create a false sense of control, encourage avoidance, suppress risk-taking, and limit vision. People who believe they are protected by comfort fail to recognize that security is never guaranteed. True financial growth demands action, boldness, and willingness to face uncertainty. Those who escape the trap of perceived safety seize opportunities others overlook, build resilience, and achieve results that the comfortable only dream of. Safety may feel good in the moment, but it quietly kills the drive, creativity, and decisiveness required to generate wealth. True financial growth lies outside your comfort zone because every meaningful opportunity requires risk, effort, and the willingness to face uncertainty. Comfort, by definition, limits exposure to these conditions. It keeps you in familiar patterns, safe routines, and predictable environments. While these may feel secure, they also prevent expansion, innovation, and leverage the three critical pillars of wealth creation. The moment you prioritize comfort over action, you create boundaries around your financial potential. Growth, by contrast, occurs when you push past those boundaries, confront fear, and embrace calculated challenges that most people avoid. Most people fail to recognize that discomfort is not a threat, it is a signal. When a decision makes you uneasy, when a deal feels risky, or when a market shift challenges your assumptions, that is precisely where the highest potential lies. Opportunities rarely come wrapped in comfort. Markets, investments, and business openings are often chaotic, uncertain, and intimidating. People who seek only comfort avoid these situations entirely, missing the moments that multiply wealth. True financial growth demands confronting these uncomfortable realities, analyzing them carefully, and acting decisively even when fear is present. Comfort creates a false sense of mastery. People who operate exclusively within familiar territory begin to overestimate their knowledge, their skill, and their understanding of the market. They believe they are competent because they manage predictable environments effectively. However, financial growth does not occur in predictability. It occurs in ambiguity, competition, and volatility. When market conditions shift or when opportunity requires adaptation, the comfortable individual often freezes, paralyzed by the unfamiliar. Those willing to venture into discomfort, however, have already developed the resilience and adaptability needed to thrive. They treat uncertainty not as a threat, but as a proving ground for strategy and execution. Risk avoidance is another factor limiting growth. Comfort encourages decisions that minimize immediate pain or fear rather than maximize long-term gain. People remain in jobs that feel safe, invest cautiously, or stick to familiar markets. In doing so, they reduce exposure to stress, but they also reduce exposure to profit. True wealth creation often requires bold moves, launching a new business, negotiating aggressively, investing in undervalued opportunities, or scaling operations under pressure. These actions are inherently uncomfortable, but they yield rewards that those who cling to comfort can never achieve. Comfort lulls people into inactivity, and inactivity guarantees stagnation. Discomfort builds capability. Every challenge you face outside your comfort zone strengthens skills, sharpens judgment, and expands mental toughness. Negotiating under pressure, managing risk, and making high-stakes decisions teach lessons that cannot be learned in safety. Comfortable individuals rarely develop these skills, which leaves them vulnerable when unexpected challenges arise. Financial growth is not only about seizing opportunities, but also about having the competence and confidence to act effectively when they appear. Avoiding discomfort ensures that the skill set required for expansion remains underdeveloped. Comfort also limits creativity and problem solving. Wealth rarely comes from doing the same thing as everyone else. It comes from innovation, calculated experimentation, and discovering overlooked opportunities. Comfort reinforces routine thinking. It encourages doing what has always worked rather than exploring untested strategies or new markets. True financial growth requires challenging assumptions, questioning the status quo, and experimenting in areas that feel risky or uncomfortable. Those who remain within comfort zones rarely stumble upon breakthroughs because their mindset is anchored to the familiar. Discomfort, by contrast, forces creative thinking and strategic adaptation, which leads to exponential results. The psychological effects of staying comfortable are equally damaging. Comfort breeds complacency, fear of failure, and delayed action. People rationalize inactivity by convincing themselves that waiting for the right moment or the perfect conditions will protect them. In reality, these conditions rarely exist, and time spent waiting is time lost. Markets move, competitors act, and opportunities vanish. Growth favors those who act decisively under imperfect conditions, embracing discomfort as a necessary part of the process. Comfort ensures hesitation, and hesitation guarantees that opportunity will pass. Financial leverage also emerges from embracing discomfort. When you step outside your safe zone, you take positions, make commitments, and deploy resources in ways that can scale results disproportionately. Whether it's leveraging capital in a bold investment, negotiating a high-stakes deal, or pushing a business into a new market, the uncomfortable move often yields the greatest multiplier effect. Comfort keeps people from committing, from leveraging, and from creating structures that magnify returns. It enforces incremental thinking, whereas discomfort enables exponential growth. Finally, discomfort builds resilience and fortitude. The financial world is volatile, competitive, and unforgiving. Temporary setbacks, failed ventures, and market downturns are inevitable. People who have never operated outside their comfort zone lack the mental resilience to endure these challenges. They crumble under pressure, abandon strategy, or revert to safety at the first sign of difficulty. Those accustomed to discomfort, on the other hand, develop confidence and adaptability. They are prepared to weather volatility, make bold decisions under stress, and capitalize on conditions that others avoid. True financial growth lies outside your comfort zone because comfort suppresses action, diminishes skill, and constrains vision. Wealth accumulates for those willing to embrace risk, challenge their limits, and operate effectively in uncertainty. Comfort may feel safe, but it guarantees stagnation. Growth requires courage, discipline, and a willingness to endure temporary discomfort for long-term gain. Every step taken outside what feels easy, safe, or familiar multiplies your capacity to create wealth. Every choice to remain comfortable reduces it. In finance, as in life, comfort is the enemy of exponential progress, and the path to meaningful growth is always uncomfortable. Complacency traps the average and rewards the bold, because in financial growth, standing still is equivalent to moving backward. Markets, opportunities, and competition never pause. While someone clings to the familiarity of their routines, the bold are exploiting shifts, taking risks, and expanding their influence. Complacency is the mindset that convinces people they are doing enough simply because nothing catastrophic has happened yet. It lulls the mind into accepting mediocrity, reinforcing habits that are comfortable but unproductive. This is the trap that keeps the majority of people average, while the few who embrace risk, action, and discomfort pull far ahead. Complacency often begins subtly. A person achieves a modest level of success, perhaps a steady job, a small savings account, or a business that generates predictable revenue. At first, this feels like accomplishment, but over time, comfort breeds inertia. The brain interprets stability as mastery, reducing the perceived need for further effort. People stop learning aggressively, stop taking calculated risks, and stop seeking opportunities to push beyond current limits. Meanwhile, the market continues to evolve. Competitors innovate, technologies advance, and consumer behavior shifts. The complacent individual, believing they are secure, slowly loses relevance. The problem with complacency is that it undermines ambition. People who are content with minimal achievements stop setting challenging goals. They prioritize comfort over progress, security over growth, and predictability over opportunity. Financial growth is not linear, it is exponential. Small incremental gains compound over time, but only if they are paired with risk, effort, and strategic vision. The complacent mindset limits exposure to these variables. By avoiding challenges, people restrict the potential of their investments, businesses, and personal development. The bold, by contrast, pursue high-stakes opportunities because they understand that risk, properly calculated and executed, is the accelerator of wealth. Complacency also affects decision-making. When people settle into average patterns, they delay action, avoid difficult conversations, and overanalyze situations out of fear of disrupting their comfort. Indecision in business or investing is far more dangerous than failure. Every delayed decision is a missed opportunity. Competitors who act decisively capture market share, secure advantageous deals, and strengthen positions while the complacent hesitate. Bold action, even with imperfect information, often outperforms careful analysis followed by delay. Complacency rewards safety in the short term but penalizes growth in the long term. Comfort and complacency also encourage poor financial habits. People content with their current situation are more likely to spend impulsively, save minimally, and avoid calculated investments. They justify their decisions with rationalizations like, I don't need more risk, or I'm already doing okay. These habits compound over time, eroding financial potential and widening the gap between the average and the ambitious. Bold individuals, however, embrace disciplined spending, aggressive investments, and strategic risk because they see money as a tool to multiply influence and wealth rather than simply a resource to maintain comfort. The bold are rewarded because they accept discomfort as part of growth. They understand that fear, risk, and pressure are signals, not obstacles. When competitors freeze, they move. When markets change, they pivot. When opportunities appear risky, they evaluate and act decisively. Complacency, in contrast, rewards hesitation. The average person clings to what they know, avoids uncertainty, and hopes conditions will remain favorable. In a world that is constantly changing, hope is a poor strategy. The bold understand that growth requires action, not wishful thinking. Moreover, complacency erodes resilience. Financial growth is never without setbacks. Investments fail, business deals fall through, and markets shift unexpectedly. Those who are used to comfort lack the mental fortitude to navigate volatility. They panic, retreat, or abandon strategy. Bold individuals, accustomed to risk and discomfort, use setbacks as learning experiences. They adapt, restructure, and leverage adversity to their advantage. The ability to endure challenges while remaining strategic is what separates long-term success from stagnation. Innovation also favors the bold. People who are complacent resist change because it threatens their comfort zone. They maintain routines, avoid experimentation, and cling to outdated methods. Bold individuals seek innovation, challenge conventional wisdom, and exploit inefficiencies in the market. Every new product, every pivot in strategy, every calculated risk is an opportunity for exponential returns. Complacency ensures these opportunities pass unnoticed or unclaimed. Social influence plays a role in reinforcing complacency. Society often praises stability, safety, and incremental success. People are conditioned to believe that enough is sufficient. This external reinforcement discourages bold action. The ambitious, however, ignore societal approval. They prioritize results over comfort, progress over validation, and opportunity over security. This mindset allows them to outpace the average, building wealth and influence at a scale that the complacent can only admire. Finally, complacency traps individuals in a cycle of mediocrity. The longer one remains comfortable, the harder it becomes to break free. Skills stagnate, networks weaken, and opportunities diminish. The bold continuously challenge themselves, expand capabilities, and take decisive steps that accelerate financial growth. Complacency conversely rewards stagnation by allowing safety to feel like achievement while slowly eroding potential. True financial success is reserved for those willing to endure discomfort, embrace risk, and act decisively in pursuit of exponential gains. In financial growth, complacency traps the average and rewards the bold because doing nothing while the world moves is the fastest way to fall behind. Comfort might feel secure, but in reality it is a limiting force that suppresses ambition, delays action, and prevents the pursuit of extraordinary results. The bold succeed because they refuse to settle, they act despite fear, and they embrace challenge as the path to wealth. Complacency may protect in the moment, but it guarantees stagnation and lost opportunity in the long term.